All right, we're gonna get our van life on.
Right here.
Oh,
right
the
here.
charge port's right here up front.
Yep.
It definitely feels like an electric car.
Yeah.
It's so smooth. And here's the shower. Here, why don't you come on in? Da, 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 da. Okay, privacy, please. I'm gonna gun it. The name Winnebago has been synonymous with RVs for over 6 decades, but their next project could be their biggest hit yet. This week, I got a hands-on look at their all-electric, zero-emissions motorhome, the first of its kind from a major RV manufacturer. Today, we are going to be taking an exclusive look at the new Winnebago ERV concept van. I'm actually one of the very first non-employees that is going to be able to take an inside look at this, and not only take a look, but we are going to be able to test drive it for you guys today. So come with me, let's go inside, let's take a look and find out all the details. In early 2020, Winnebago began working on its ERV project, converting a Ford E-Transit chassis while electrifying the powertrain via the EV production company Lightning E-Motors.
At the time we ordered the chassis, Ford wasn't in production with their E-Transit, so this was our best option to create a proof of concept vehicle, was with them.
Since then, Winnebago has integrated the subsystems plus its interior and electronics. The ERV has been meticulously crafted to the unique features of an electric vehicle, not just adapting a traditional RV interior, but creating a true electric RV.
The electric vehicle experience, there's more than just the technology and what actually makes it move. But you think about what Tesla have done, what other major EV manufacturers have done, is they've kind of elevated the rest of the experience as well. So when we looked at building out this vehicle, we wanted to take a slightly different approach rather than just putting in a traditional RV interior, and really think through, whether it's through customer research, whether it's through trends, trying to incorporate all of those different elements into the design. So when we went through that, we started looking at things of, what materials to use. So authenticity is something that was really big. So like the cabinets here, they look like wood grain because it actually is wood grain. But there is also a little bit of wanting to make sure that there's that performance. So it's lightweight plywood with true wood grain on top of it versus just a printed image. When you start looking inside of them, you might see there's a little bit of pop of color. But with this being woolen material, one, it's slightly more insulative, and that managing temperature in electric vehicles is an important thing. The other thing is it helps keep the noise down a little bit. So if you've got anything in here, it doesn't rattle as much and doesn't make as much noise for everywhere else.
From a marine grade fridge to a slide out induction cooktop to a toilet, sink, and shower, the ERV doesn't compromise quality nor features.
You can press the silver button and that will start up the control system for the vehicle.
Oh, can I do it now?
Absolutely.
Just to kind of go ahead? All right. The 2 lithium-ion battery packs beneath the chassis power both the vehicle and all the onboard amenities.
So all of the controls for the house portion of the vehicle go through that controller. Air conditioning, the heat, the lighting, hot water, the water pump, all those features, the inverter for the vehicle as well.
Turning a few different lights on and off, or turning all of them off, all of them back on. And then working through the various menus, whether it's understanding your tank levels, how much water do you have on board, or understanding things like, what's actually happening from an energy flow standpoint, what's the battery level, looking at things of, what's the target range versus where's the reserve. And the important thing of this vehicle, with an electric vehicle, majority of the time it's focused on driving. With an RV, a lot of the time it's focused on driving as well as camping.
Is there a way to kind of differentiate between, with the battery, what you're using for the living space and just running everything here versus the car, or is it?
Yeah, so we actually capture that data from the chassis. So there's 2 lithium batteries underneath the vehicle. Each one of them is a 43 kilowatt hour battery pack for a total of 86 kilowatt hours. 67 of that is usable. And we are directly connected into that high voltage power system for supplying power to the coach. But we have the ability to be able to sense how much power we're using from the battery and then be able to report that back. So as your energy consumption of the coach increases and your range starts to decrease, we're able to tell that for you.
And so as you get closer to that battery being lower, one thing that we've worked through is having the ability to have what's called graceful degradation, where the air conditioner might stop working at a certain point, and then the microwave might stop working as the battery gets a little lower, whatever that priority is. But ultimately be able to get to that next charger so you can still keep moving down the road and don't get stranded.
With that said, the big question is just how much range can you expect from the 86 kilowatt hour ERV? This concept has a range of about 125 miles or 200 kilometers, but that's not necessarily how much range you could expect by the time it actually makes it to market.
If you take into account that we ordered this 2 years ago, battery technology has improved enough that we would have a substantial gain in range just by moving forward 2 years to today. With what we know about what's coming out from OEMs in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, I think we'll effectively see that range push over 200 miles.
Yes, right now for this concept, the range is not as much as most people would like to see, but I would challenge the thinking, because when you stop with a traditional electric vehicle, yes, you can go run into the grocery store, go to the mall or have lunch at a restaurant, something like that, and you can still do all of that. But you can do so much more because you've got essentially a small house with you. So if you wanted to lay down and take a snooze, you can do that. If you wanted to pull around the table and catch up on some work, with Wi-Fi connectivity, you can do that. If you wanted to make lunch, you can do that too. And so stopping isn't necessarily a chore, but it's just a point of relaxation along the journey.
That's a very interesting way to think about it. That's something I think, just from like our EV, it's like, okay, we just want to do it quickly. But with this, like you said, you could do some work, you could plan that into your travel life. So it's a different way of looking at everything.
The nice thing about this is it can actually be used in a couple different configurations. You see it in the couch setting right now. But the nice thing is this adjustable table will actually swing and pivot out of the way. And then you can kind of convert it into what you might call a little bit of a day bed. But then the other thing that's possible is we designed it so that this actually slides out, and the beauty is 2 huge boxes. Everything underneath this sofa is storage, so you know how important storage is in the van life. Having all of that space is a huge difference. But the other thing that works pretty slick is this footrest actually kicks up. The whole sofa expands, so you've got almost a queen-size bed when it's all said and done.
And so easy.
Yeah.
Like that was just like 2 clicks.
Absolutely.
Can I lay on it and see what this feels like? Okay, so in terms of comfort, it's very squishy. It's good. So far, I haven't seen anything on what the price is. Do you guys have an idea of what we're looking at for the price range?
Their hope is to be, if this were a internal combustion engine or an EV drivetrain, be about the same landed cost to the customer.
Wow.
That's what the goal is.
That's great. And then timeline. Do we know what we're looking at? Is this like a year away, 4 years away?
So we're supposed to, how do I best say this? Our goal is to have something commercially available within the next 12 months. Probably full-scale production within the next 2 to 3 years.
If you are traveling and spend time stopping at campgrounds, you can roll into a campground with a low battery, plug in, charge overnight while still using all the features, all the appliances, and then when you get up the next morning, you're ready to go. So if you look at a typical travel day for an RVer, you might leave from the campground, drive, stop, have lunch, get some fuel, keep driving, and get to the campground. That rough equation still applies, but it's just what you stop for and how long or why you're stopping is just a little bit different.
You'll notice that throughout the vehicle, this use of economy of space and tying in so many different features that allow us to present a much larger lifestyle than maybe the package would have you originally think.
And here's the shower. Here, why don't you come on in. Such a fascinating use of space, it really is. We have our toilet. You even have a sink right in here, which I think is so clever. Look at this. Da, 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 da. Okay, privacy please. And how open are you guys in terms of feedback? Since this is still concept, are you guys taking in a lot of feedback right now, making suggestions?
That feedback is really the whole reason we're doing this. One thing that's been extremely important to Winnebago Industries and our business units is a process called co-creation, where it's not we the manufacturer saying, all right, we've got what you want, customer, here you go, but it's more so, you know, work with us, tell us what you want, and this two-way relationship, you know, we'll build something and then get feedback and iterate and continue to move forward with that. Because to design strictly in a vacuum, you know, whether it's pure design or pure engineering, at the end of the day, it all has to work together and ultimately serve the customer. And so without having the customer in that conversation, it's kind of an empty journey.
Yeah, so definitely leave comments about what you guys would like to see. What features do you think are cool? What other features would you like to have added? Leave it in the comments below so that we can all work on this and, you know, make something awesome for everyone to enjoy.
Absolutely.
Wait, what is this exactly that I'm looking at? This
removable wine chiller.
Perfect. Yes, I love that. Have you guys thought about adding solar panels just to get some extra energy for those days, you know, when you aren't at a campground, but maybe you're camping somewhere else and you can power some of the...
Yeah, great question. And we have added a solar panel, but not in the way that many people might expect. So the solar panel, which sits towards the rear of the vehicle, is meant to charge the 12-volt battery. Because I'm sure, as you know, many people are familiar with, you've got the main high voltage battery, which is the actual propulsion element or high energy. And then most vehicles have a 12-volt system to run the electronics, run the components. And through the DC to DC converter, will charge up that 12 battery. But what's nice is if you only need 12-volt power, we can get some of that from the solar panel. So it does extend your boondocking or time off-grid, whether it's powering your lights, whether it's powering the fridge, whether it's, you know, powering a few other things. So it doesn't necessarily put range back into the battery, but it more preserves the range that's already there.
Should we take it for a spin?
Yeah.
Am I on right now?
Oh, nope.
Okay.
Now you're on.
Okay. Because it's electric, it's hard to tell when you're on and when you're off, right? Because it's so quiet. All right, here I go. It definitely feels like an electric car.
Yeah.
Like you hear the, like, it's silent, just kind of takes off. Oh, interesting. It's so smooth.
You definitely get to take advantage of the low center of gravity because of the batteries as well. It corners really well.
Does it have regen braking?
It does. You'll give an indicator over on the left-hand side, and it'll show you in the blue when you're drawing energy, and in the green when you're putting energy back in through regenerative braking.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm gonna gun it. Test out the turning radius, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Crank her hard.
Here we go.
You own it.
I did it. Yeah, okay. It doesn't feel like you're in this big car or van, you know? It actually just, it drives really smoothly. This is so fun. Look at this view too. So you might notice that this vehicle says Ford on it, and it's because the chassis is built on a Ford Transit. But again, this is still a concept vehicle. A lot is going to change when they actually get into production. Now, if you guys have driven an RV before, you know they can be big and clunky, and you kind of feel like you're driving with the weight of the world behind you. But this experience has been completely the opposite, and that's because it's electric. So it drives smoothly, it's quiet, it's super quiet. It actually turns really well. It feels closer to my Tesla than a bus or an RV. So one of my dreams has always been to turn into a van life YouTuber. I would love to take my family cross country, and the fact that this thing is electric really inspires me even more to make this happen. So yes, this is a concept van right now. It is not something that you can actually go out and purchase at the moment, but they're really looking for feedback. So make sure while you're watching this whole video, you are commenting and letting Winnebago know what you like, what you want in the comments below. All right guys, so I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please drop a like and subscribe to this channel. As always, thank you guys for watching and commenting, and we'll catch you next time.